It happened on a quiet Sunday morning. There was no tension in the air, no raised voices, no sign that anything life-changing was about to unfold. Sunlight streamed softly through the curtains, painting warm lines across the dining table. He was sitting there comfortably, scrolling through his phone, smiling at the screen in that small, private way I had come to recognize, probably texting her. The thought didn't sting the way it once would have. It felt distant now, observed, measured. I walked in calmly and sat across from him. I didn't rush. I didn't hesitate. I placed a folder gently on the table between us. The soft sound of paper touching wood seemed louder than it should have been. He glanced at it, distracted. "What's this?" he asked, his tone casual, almost bored. "Just read," I said. He put his phone down and opened the folder without concern. At first, his expression didn't change. Then slowly, almost imperceptibly, it did. His eyes moved across the pages. Screenshots, dates, conversations, hotel confirmations, bank statements, his words in black and white. She would never leave. I watched the moment recognition hit him. The confidence drained from his face. His jaw tightened. The room fell silent, thick and heavy. The air between us felt different now, charged with truth. He looked up at me. "You went through my phone." That was his first reaction. Not apology, not guilt, not regret. Accusation. As if the betrayal was my discovery, not his deception. And in that instant, I felt something settle firmly inside me. I was making the right decision. "Yes," I said calmly, "and I'm glad I did." He leaned back in his chair, running a hand through his hair. "It's not what you think." The familiar line. It didn't mean anything. 8 months. It was just emotional. As if emotional betrayal leaves no scars. "You're overreacting." As if clarity is hysteria. I didn't interrupt him. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I simply let him talk. Because when someone is drowning, they speak faster. They grab at anything to keep themselves afloat. Excuses, blame, minimization. "You've been distant. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. It just happened." Just happened doesn't last 8 months. His words blurred into each other, desperate and inconsistent. He was searching for something that would soften me, something that would bring back the woman he thought he knew. The woman who cried. The woman who forgave. The woman who stayed. But she was already gone. When he finally paused, I reached into the folder and slid the final paper toward him. Divorce documents. Signed. My name steady and clear at the bottom. His hand froze above the page. "You're serious?" he asked, and for the first time I saw it. Not anger, not pride. Fear. Real fear. Because the sentence that once comforted him was collapsing in front of him. She would never leave. He stared at the signature like it might disappear if he blinked long enough. The silence that followed was different from before. It wasn't shock anymore. It was consequence. "You're throwing everything away," he said quietly. I met his eyes without flinching. "No, I'm saving myself." He shifted in his chair, suddenly smaller than I had ever seen him. "We can fix this. I'll end it. I'll do whatever you want." Whatever you want. Now he was offering options. Now he was willing to change. Now he was afraid of losing what he had taken for granted. But understanding loss is slow, and he was just beginning. "You already did whatever you wanted," I replied. "For 8 months. The truth landed between us, undeniable and steady. 2 months had passed since the night I saw the message. 2 months of quiet preparation. While he grew comfortable again, careless again, I was building something stronger. He had started staying out overnight sometimes, tossing a small bag together with an easy excuse. "Work trip." I nodded each time. Inside, I was preparing. I opened a separate bank account, redirected my income carefully, reviewed our finances line by line, documented everything, every deposit, every withdrawal, every irregular expense, not out of spite, out of protection. Slowly, the woman who would never leave was disappearing. I started going to the gym, not to impress him, to strengthen myself, to clear my mind, to move forward physically as I was already moving emotionally. I dressed differently, intentionally, not dramatically, just with purpose, clothes that made me feel sharp, independent, complete on my own. I spent more time outside, coffee alone, walks in the evening, reconnecting with friends, rebuilding the parts of myself that had quietly shrunk around him. Not for him, for me. And something strange happened. He noticed. "You seem different," he said one evening, studying me with confusion. "Do I?" I replied lightly. For the first time in years, he looked unsure. The balance had shifted. He wasn't controlling the narrative anymore. He wasn't the steady one managing my emotions. He wasn't the confident man juggling two lives without consequence. I was steady now. I was quiet. And he didn't know what that meant. Her name was Layla. I hadn't hated her at first because she didn't promise me forever. He did. But as I read deeper into their conversations, I realized she knew. She knew he was married. She knew about our life. She joked about me. "Does she suspect anything?" she asked once. Poor thing. Poor thing. That phrase did ignite rage. It sparked dignity. They thought I was naive, blind, dependent. They mistook kindness for weakness, loyalty for stupidity. That was their biggest miscalculation. Kindness is a choice, and once someone chooses differently, the shift is powerful. I didn't want to destroy him. Destroying someone is quick, loud, messy. I wanted him to understand, and understanding loss is slow. He cared deeply about two things, his image and his career. He was respected at work, disciplined, responsible, trustworthy, if people only knew. But I wasn't going to create a scandal. No screaming, no public humiliation. I wanted consequences. So I gathered evidence, screenshots, dates, conversations. I met a lawyer, not to file immediately, to understand my options. "You're calmer than most," the lawyer had said. I smiled then, just like I was smiling now across the dining table. Because calm people are often the most dangerous. Not violent. Precise. Now he sat there, staring at the papers, finally understanding something he never believed possible. I was leaving. Not screaming. Not begging. Not competing. Leaving. "You thought I was weak," I said quietly, holding his gaze. "You were so wrong." And in the silence that followed, I saw it clearly. He finally understood. And this time, there would be no again.